All right, we are back for another. This is like 4 or 5 consecutive weeks I've done. Like we're on a good streak now.
Let's go.
We have another
Let's
guest.
go.
We're back with,
Welcome.
we've talked about you for the past 2 episodes, so I think it's only fair that we allow you to speak for yourself. You had a good week, but yeah, I guess it's time to actually, we don't have to talk about you. You're here, Matt. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me on this prestigious podcast.
Thank you for being here, Matt. Let's start by telling. How about you start by telling how we all met, how you met each of us. Just a little background on individual members. Obviously, you're an OG member. We're all OG members. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. I met Anthony in middle school. We were in the same gym class. Had a lot of fun.
Went to your bar mitzvah. That was
my bar mitzvah. So
Go back.
Jacob, we met in 10th grade English class. Really. This dude was always just coughing and coughing. Really annoying. But I kind of felt bad for him, so I became friends with him.
Definitely how the story went. But yeah, let's. You got more? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Let's. Obviously, we all met, became friends. Started this fantasy league. You have 0 championships, I can see. Just want to call that out right there. 1 playoff appearance. I mean, obviously that's not updated like fully. I assume. I hope there's more.
This draft is kind of crazy for you, Matt. I can't lie.
You kind of peaked last year. Let's just say that.
Well, I was so convinced I was going to win last year because I was due last year. Last year was my year, and then Aaron Jones let me down. Only had like 4 carries, and then James Conner scored last-second touchdown against me, and that was that, and I was really down bad. But I had a good year last year. Was hoping for a good year this year. I was happy with my team until I'll get into it more later, but obviously not the start I was looking for again. But still a lot of time to turn things around, and had a good week last week.
Yeah, I would just say generally about your team. We got your roster up now. How do you feel? I mean, it's obviously, like you said, the results maybe not going your way, but it's not like your team is awful. You have a better kicker now. You finally just picked up Moody. I don't know why.
Number 1, I think.
The number 1 kicker. You finally picked him up, so that's an improvement already from last week.
Yeah, so I was happy. I was really happy at first because my team doesn't show it here, but I had Nick Chubb, and I was so pumped to have Chubb, Henry, B-Rob as my third running back. Running back, obviously, the most valuable position in fantasy. And I was like, oh, I'm so set. I'm going to be set all year, have like some of the best running backs in fantasy. And then Nick Chubb just obliterates his knee, and now I'm just like, bro. But happy. Lamar Jackson, I'm a Ravens fan. Happy I got Lamar. I think the real reason I got off to a bad start is just because I wasn't able to draft Justin Tucker this year, unfortunately, because he kind of got sniped from me. I've had him like for the past 4 or 5 years. Every year, he's my favorite kicker, my favorite player in the league, and tried trading for him, but Sammy wouldn't budge. We'll see.
I get that.
Waller has been a disappointment. But we'll see. I think the one thing about my team is I think I have a little bit of depth, having Godwin on my bench, Pickens, and then
depth.
Depth.
I mean, depth to Nick Chubb's knee. Yeah. Sorry, done with those jokes.
So I have some options. Obviously, the Chubb injury really hurt my team for sure. But we'll see. I'm confident. I don't feel out of it yet. I don't feel.
Yeah, I think no team's out kind of right now. When we get to the standings, we'll kind of see that. But, thanks for kind of going through your team. Let's kind of go through the stories of the week.
Yeah. So first stories of the week, I guess we got big game. It was like a bottom feeder. It's a lot of weird top stories this week. First one, bottom feeder matchup between the Broncos and the Bears.
0-3.
The Bears are terrible. I saw this thing, like, the Bears are the only, like, North American professional sports team to have not won a game in, like, some amount of time. Like, the Bears are garbage. Justin Fields, I don't know. I don't know if it's the offense or if it's Justin Fields or if it's both, but it's everything in Chicago, it feels like. They are right now. They have Carolina's first rounder, so they would get the number 2 or the number 1 and number 2 overall pick if the draft started today. So they're kind of set up, I feel like, to get Caleb Williams. Like, maybe that is just what happens and Justin Fields leaves, but still brutal start for them, and they let the Broncos beat them.
Yeah. Not a great start to the season for the Bears. I mean, not really either team. They kind of both didn't really want to win that game and went back and forth. But the CJ Stroud, he's kind of the real deal. He's lit it up fantasy wise. Their team is now, I think, 2-2, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just beat the Steelers. Obviously, Kenny Pickett got hurt, but they were on top before with
game.
What'd you say?
At the end of the game, he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Texans were probably still going to win even with Kenny Pickett in the game. It didn't look good at all for the Steelers. But yeah, I mean, Nico Collins went off 2 touchdowns, I think over 120-something yards. Just crazy game for the Texans. I didn't really think he would be this good this fast, CJ Stroud, but he's kind of turned it up.
Yeah. And Bills, Dolphins was the final game of the week, or the final story of the weekend. I mean, we were talking kind of like, I feel like the Bills have had like an iffy start to the season. People have been questioning them, but they shut everyone up against the Dolphins. Especially a Dolphins team that just brutalized the Broncos like they just did, to be able to drop 40 on them like that and, beat them pretty handily is meaningful. So interesting to see the Bills do that. We'll see how it goes from here for them.
Yeah, this might be a hot take, but I kind of think both of those teams are a little overrated. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, who do you think out of the AFC? Who do you feel like is like really legit? Like, who do you think is going to be consistent throughout the year?
Well, obviously the Chiefs. I think Taylor Swift will be their downfall. Just I think Baltimore's legit. Have to figure out the offense a little bit more.
A little bias there, but
yeah. We'll allow that.
Again, they have to figure out the offense a little bit more. But the offensive coordinator, I think by the end of the year, if Lamar can stay healthy this year, anything's possible. Buffalo obviously is legit. I don't think they're as good as people make them out to be, but they're really good. I think the Dolphins are pretenders. They had a hot start last year too, and I don't believe in Tua. So, yeah.
That's fair. I don't think that's a ridiculous take. I think the Bills thing is a little ridiculous. I think the Bills are, if not the favorite, they're top 3 right now.
I think Josh Allen's a little overrated personally, but they're a good team. They win games, so that's all that counts.
Yeah.
I think you just need to mature a little bit, but yeah, they will. But they'll come around eventually, hopefully. They're one of the only teams that still doesn't have a championship, right? So
they went to 4 Super Bowls and lost all of them.
And lost all 4. Yeah.
That's all I know. And so that's just, I mean, that's never a good sign. Hopefully Josh Allen can.
I mean, Stephon Diggs probably just end up looking at the team that beat him in the celebration again this year. We'll see.
Probably.
So another L for us, though, this week. Commanders, our final story, our final NFL recap. It was a good game. Like, as losses go, I feel like this was as good of a loss as we could have had to the Eagles. In overtime, in Philly, to be able to push them like that, especially coming off of the stinker we had against Buffalo. Like, it was good to see the team put out a bit more. And, I feel like we're the second best team. I don't know. I don't like I feel like the Cowboys are always garbage. So in my head, we're the second best team in the NFC East, really, or we can be. And being able to compete with Philly like that, I think, is meaningful towards that. That just shows that we have a young team that is on its way to doing good things in this division.
Yeah, no, I think our team has. I think we showed flashes there that we could be one of the best teams in the NFC East. Probably not this year, but in a year or two, we have the pieces to be one of the best teams. We looked good. We jumped out early. I just don't think the defense is there yet. That's my problem. I think they need to kind of pick it up, especially with the kind of the talent we go up against in the division with the A.J. Browns, the C.D. Lambs. I don't know if Forbes will be able to hang up, if Fuller will be able to hold up, but we'll see going forward.
Yeah, the Commanders, they remind me of the Lions last year. Like, they have the pieces, they have the foundation, they look very legit at times. They just need to find a way to put it all together, and I think that could definitely happen really soon.
Yeah. I think best case scenario, though, right now is still like seven seed in the playoffs. Best case, maybe 6 seed, but probably not.
NFC's pretty weak, so it's possible.
It's true.
All right. Well, on to the fantasy matchups this week. I'm the first one. I gotta put my L on display. It was honestly, I was talking about this a little bit with Jacob before. It's not even like I can't be that mad at myself. This is the third straight week where I'm not really mad at my loss. Like, I was only one player away if I started Nico Collins over Waddle or Madison. Like, that's an easy win for me. But I don't think there's any, maybe over Madison in the flex, but I can't really justify starting Nico Collins over Waddle. So I'm not mad at myself for that. It's just kind of annoying. But my team is consistently putting up, 100-plus points. I put up 90-plus every single game this year. So I feel good about my team. I'm the highest scoring out of the bottom feeders. So I feel fine. I think my team will. It's big championships being won here. All right. We're going to be the winner of the losers bracket this year. That's the goal. So, it's frustrating, but, we're only 4 weeks in and, I'm having the solid performances. Justin Jefferson's doing what he's supposed to. Kieran Williams is a solid running back option. Like I have what I need. I just got to see them put it together and have myself not get, done dirty by how my opponents are doing every week.
There's still time. I think you have a solid team. And you do have depth, too, which is
and
Jonathan
Taylor. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Maybe he stays in Indy. It's kind of like seeming like that's what's going to happen at this point. But regardless, I'm very interested to see how he gets back and see, it's starting to feel like trade time for me. Maybe not this week, but next week, especially with Jonathan Taylor coming back, it's gonna be some moves made.
Yep. Let me know if you're interested in any.
All right. Well, we'll get into that. I was like, maybe if Matt's team was up next, I could talk about your team. But it's Jacob and Yusuke's matchup next. So we'll talk about theirs
we
first.
have an explosion of a team on that right-hand side.
Right.
I mean, it was probably one of my best fantasy days ever. McCaffrey, 4 touchdowns. I think he had 30 points at halftime. Herbert had 20 points at half. I had 50 points. There was just so many things. A.J. Brown, 34 points. I have no words. Best fantasy day ever. Cowboys, 26 points. Everybody on my team is legit except for Dallas Goedert. And I got to fix that tight end spot because he's been dropping duds on me all season. But everybody else is good, and I just need to kind of fix that spot. And I think my team has a solid shot to win it all. Yusuke had a hell of a performance. He has a hell of a team, too. It was back and forth, too. He had a really good shot of winning before McCaffrey ended up doing that. So it's going to be close at the end of the year between me, him, and Matt Cohen, I think. But I'm just happy with how my team looks right now and staying undefeated. 4-0, baby.
Yeah, what pisses me off about Jacob's team, other than his trash talk, his unnecessary cockiness, he's just upset that he lost last year, is that Justin Herbert is going off, and I had Justin Herbert last year, and I needed him to score like 10 points. I don't remember what it was I needed to beat Sammy in the playoffs. It was not a lot of points. He put up like 5, and it just pisses me off that he's going off now.
Brutal.
Like, why couldn't he do that earlier?
Yeah, that hurts. It hurts. Anyways,
what doesn't hurt? Yeah, you you won this week, so that's like a plus. It's
First
better
win
than
of the
Herbert
season,
last year.
A win's a win. So this team's 0-4, so I can't take too much pride in it. But a win is a win.
Bottom feeder matchup right there.
What's tough is, if you look at my first two games, I lost to Yusuke because Tyler Bass's last-second field goal hit the post and bounced in instead of bouncing out. And then week 2, I lost because Nick Chubb. I was about to win, and then Nick Chubb got his knee blown out. So a couple different things. I could be 3-1 right now, but obviously that's not the way fantasy happens. Fortunately, Nick Chubb's knee did get blown out. But finally got on the board, so we'll see if I can get a little bit of a streak going.
So I feel like you had a solid all-around performance this week, and looking at I guess I'm missing over something there. I messed up the slide order. You had a good order. You had a good performance this week. Someone who didn't have a good performance this week, someone who we have to really emphasize this week.
You have to shout him out.
Alex. Here. Matt, you got ingratiated with this last time, so I'll let you take it away. How do you feel about Alex's performance so far? What do you think?
The thing about Alex is I've been playing with Alex for who knows, and the thing about Alex is I play with him in 2 different leagues. So I mean this one and then one other one that I'm in. So, and if you look at his team across the board for the past 5 seasons, it's the same exact team every year.
In every league?
Yes, it's always players on the Bills, players on the Bengals, and then like
Chargers.
Devontae Adams. Yeah, players on Austin Eckler, Devontae Adams. It's the same guys every year, and I think this year, those guys probably are just a little bit past their peak, and he's probably reaping the repercussions right now.
I mean, yeah, he's 1-3 right now, and has the least points for in the league. I mean, look at his name, guys. He changed his name to L. We didn't do this. He did this to himself. We blocked out everyone else's name for obvious reasons. He did that to himself. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I mean, look at that win he got. It was by 6 points. Come on, 103 points. I've dropped 130 a week.
All right, let's calm down. Mr.
Hey,
130
I've never
a week.
done this before. I need to talk my smack while I can before it stops.
The whole league is preying on Jacob's downfall right now. So normally,
just wait. I have one more stat I want to share, and that's when we get into all these scores here for the week.
Okay.
When you look at all these scores here, you'll notice one thing. There's one thing. I mean, Yusuke dropped 128 points, which is the second most points in the league. The craziest thing is, he lost by the most points. And that's just beyond insane. That should never happen in fantasy. Never. He deserves a win.
He doesn't deserve anything.
We should take your win away, Matt. We should give it to Yusuke. We should realistically.
I should have beat Yusuke. How many passes Kiss bounced in? Like, that was bullshit.
Okay, I mean, I don't really know what you're talking about right now, but sure,
Week 1, Bills Jets. Tyler Bass, 50-yarder, game-time field goal, bounced in after hitting the upright. And then the game was lose anyways. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that is pretty weak. Wait, so he won by like a few points?
He won by like 2 points.
Okay. Well, we'll remember that. But let's go through these scores for now. I gave my stat. Got to flex on the league, obviously. All I can. So Adwin got a big win, going to 2-2 over Anthony, unfortunately. Matt Cohen staying undefeated over Alex. I took down Yusuke. Ian took down Joel. Joel was another candidate for down bad alert. Just saying. And then Matt obviously defeated Sammy.
Revenge for last year.
And yeah, looking at the standings now. So you're off the bottom now, Matt. Jacob, obviously, I guess we'll start at the top. Jacob, first place, most
top
points.
Of the table.
You're still not the highest playoff percentage. Matt Cohen, Matt Cohen's going to do better than you.
ESPN I don't know, man. ESPN has always just favored his team. No, since the beginning, it has had him as #1 preseason projection. It has not changed that once. I mean, I guess now it has me as the current ranking 1. I'll take that, man. I'll take that. I deserve that. But 538. I mean, I don't know why I can't give you the most playoff percent. At least tie me with Matt. Anyways, Sammy's off to a rough start. Kind of looking at that wooden spoon award right there. Let's see what happens there.
We got a fun little 1-3 gang here, though, and this is where I'd like to remind everyone what I said earlier. I'm the best of the bottom feeders right now. I have 430. I have more points than Ian, like significantly more than Ian. I have more points than Adwin too. Like I'm the 4th highest scoring team in the league, but I've only won 1 game. I feel fine.
That's crazy.
And my team's been, and it's not like I've had like a crazy explosion performance. My team has just been pretty consistent. So I feel like that's going to hold. I feel good about my team. And, I'm not going to be, I don't know what your plans are for the rest of the season, Matt, but I'm not going to be with you bums down out of the playoffs again this year. My plan is to
be the same record.
My plan is to elevate myself from my current bum status and get myself to the playoffs. I have faith in myself.
Bold prediction right there.
Trade.
There's going to have to be trade time, definitely.
We haven't really had any big trades yet. We will.
I've been trying to see that.
One thing to note about the standings too is there's 7 teams are at 500 or below. 3 teams are above. I feel like that's kind of weird. I feel like that doesn't usually happen.
Well, it's also so early in the season. I think that it's I think just the way that it was set up, we had 3 undefeated teams going into week 3. I don't think that is really rare. So I think that just jacked the rest of the standings. But now that Yusuke lost, it's going to start to even out. I think it'll go back to normal.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I guess going into matchups now, I'm hoping for better this week. I'm going up against Alex. This is another bottom feeder matchup for me. But I feel like my team has what it takes this week. Not sure what I want to do with Jalen Waddle. He's been really bugging me. But the rest of my team, I feel pretty good about. Laporta, steal of the draft easily. I feel like that's
100%.
One of the best decisions that I made. I feel really good about that. Justin Jefferson has been wide receiver 1. That's been fine. Kieran Williams, amazing pickup after week 1. So my team is built fine. We'll see what the Jonathan Taylor status is this week. Maybe I don't know if I would feel good throwing him in there or not. But I feel solid this week going up against Alex. I don't know. I need to get a win. If I lose this week, then it really is I'm going to be down bad next week.
Desperation.
And yeah, then it's going to start to get to desperation. If I win this week, I'm up to 2-3. We're in a more comfortable place than if I'm at 1-4. So
expect Anthony on the down bad side if he doesn't put on a dub this week.
It's a 50-50 chance. It very well could be me. It was almost me this week. So I really gotta win to avoid that against Alex now.
You got the early projections in your favor. It's always a good sign.
Yeah.
But we can get into my matchup here. So yeah, obviously you can see my projection is lower, but I don't have a kicker or defense, so I need to pick both of those up. But yeah, I also have to play Kirk Cousins, and I had to bench Mike Evans as well because he's on bye and Justin Herbert's out. But I'm still pretty confident in my team. I mean, I have McCaffrey, A.J. Brown. Those are 2 of the best in their position. DJ Moore, I'm pretty excited about. He had a good week last week. Cortland Sutton's been decent enough. Joe Mixon, he's been solid too. I expect a good performance from him this week. So, I mean, Adwin's been solid. He's in, I think, 4th place in the standings. So,
Because he beat me when Nick Chubb got hurt.
Adwin's been stealing victories, honestly. Maybe Adwin's needs to start putting some more energy towards Adwin's team.
Adwin's team is not anything. Do not be afraid of Adwin's team. He's starting Tyler Algier. Come on, man. They're up to like 1 point last week.
Starting Tyler Algier and flex is crazy.
No, I don't even know who that is.
Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. Oh, Tank Dell, Evan Ingram. That's it. That's a unique lineup. But gotta respect what Adwin's doing. He's having some success this year. Kind of rare for Adwin, so good for him. We'll see how this matchup goes. Best of luck, sir.
Yeah, Matt, we got your matchup. How do you feel? This is, you got your win. Are you feeling a little bit more? What's next for your team? Is it another dub? How are you proceeding?
Let me tell you why I'm nervous right now. I'm nervous because I see Devontae Adams is going up against Green Bay, and he's about to go crazy.
Is Garoppolo going to be back this week?
Green Bay?
I don't think it matters who's throwing to him. Devontae Adams is going off. So that is why I'm nervous. Kyle Pitts doesn't scare me. DeAndre Hopkins doesn't scare me. Pittman, he gets a lot of targets, but he doesn't scare me. Saquon, we'll see if he plays. I don't know. It's gonna be a tough matchup. Waller has been so bad for me. I'm just crossing my fingers that that works out because I don't really have any other options. I'm gonna hope B-Rob, my guy Brian Robinson, goes off against the Chicago Bears.
Your guy.
That's where that's who I'm circling. That I'm gonna need a big game out of right there, if I want to beat him.
Against Chicago, it's definitely possible. I can see at least 1 or 2 touchdowns out of him this week.
So we'll see. I think I'm gonna make a switch on my defense potentially, but and we'll see. And if Zay Flowers can catch his first touchdown, that would be nice. But we'll see what happens. I'm a little nervous, but I think I have a chance.
Huge win for you if you end up getting that. And yeah, we're returning with the over-under segment this week. First week we did pretty well. Last week I did garbage. I don't even really want to talk about this because I don't know why I said McCaffrey under and then he scored 4 touchdowns. That was like one of the worst. This is just terrible takes from me all around. Puka, I don't know why. I think I said over for Puka and you got the under. So, that was my only bright spot on this.
That is true. But then, looking at the Anthony versus Adwin matchup, Sam Laporta, we both said under, which is kind of bold. And
no, both of us said over for that one.
And it was under.
And he ended up getting, and he got 7.4 points. He got the first half, I was so hyped at the start of the game. I was like, bet. He got his 4 receptions or whatever in the first half. Didn't do anything in the second half. It's like he just disappeared off the field. So that was – Ryusuke sent a text. He was like, oh, looks I should have gone with the over for Laporta. And then he didn't touch the ball again for the rest of the game. So.
He was regretting that. But shout out Yusuke for being on last week. And we have Matt on this time. But last one, Bijan Robinson, over 50.5. He did that against the Jaguars. He had a lot of catches. He had a good game. I said over, so I get a point there.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be close, and I think it was. I think he got over by just a little bit, but still, I'm going to ignore this one and move on to the over-unders for this week. So Jacob takes the total lead. I guess the first one.
Still close.
It's there. It's early days, but my first matchup this week, and I really have no idea. I don't know. I hadn't come up with an answer for this in my head before. Jalen Waddle against the Giants, over under 11.3 points. Last season, that's a lock. That's a lock. Set it, forget it, definitely. But this year, he hasn't really done that. What do you guys think?
Giants, though? Against the Giants?
Just knowing how bad the Giants have been this year, I'm saying over. Although I agree with you, Anthony. Waddle hasn't had the production that he has. He's in a little bit of a sophomore slump. But against the Giants, this is his week to get out of that.
I think he bounces back, just like Matt said. I mean, they haven't really got him involved yet, and this is a great week to do it against the Giants. And even though 11.3 is pretty high considering what he's done, I'm definitely taking that over.
Yeah, so I guess I'll rock with the over 2 here. I am like iffy. I mean, he got like 7 or 8 points last week, so even just on like minimal volume, he's doing fine. But I think I saw something. He hasn't gotten more than 6 targets in a game this year. So it's not only like it's not like he's just been injured or slow start. Like he's not getting the same looks in that offense. So I'll go over here, but I am tentative about Waddle going forward. I really would like to see a good performance this week to feel comfortable starting him.
That's fair. And I'll lead in this Najee one because I just want to say I'm never a guy that likes saying under, but Najee against Baltimore is the biggest under I've ever seen. He sucks. I think Jalen Moore is going to take over that backfield one day.
Matt Canada sucks. Anyone in Pittsburgh will tell you Matt Canada is the worst thing that city has seen.
Exactly. And I think that Baltimore defense is one of the best in the league. I think he might go negative points in that game.
That's bold, but
it's a bold take, but I don't know. He's not getting over anywhere near 8 points.
The thing is, normally I would agree with you. The thing is, being a rivalry game, anything can happen. So I agree with you for the reasons that you said. The under is probably the wise choice. But just for the fact that it's Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, anything can happen. I think I'm going to take the under though.
Yeah, for this one, I'm gonna go on the. I do agree with you guys, but I'm gonna go with a little bit of a different tactic here. I think I'm going for a Najee touchdown. That I think is the only thing that puts him over. I think they're gonna play like garbage.
But the team doesn't score touchdowns.
I think Najee's gonna get. I think there's gonna be a Najee like 2-yard touchdown, and he's going to finish with like 10 carries and 8 yards or something. Like he's going to have a garbage stat line, but I think he's going to have a touchdown and like a reception, and that'll push him over. I think it's going to be an undeserved over for Najee.
I like it.
Bold take. I like it. We got DJ Moore, my boy, against obviously our team, Washington Commanders. Over under 8.5. Anthony, what are you thinking for that?
Well, just one thing crazy that DJ Moore's, it really does show you how bad either the Bears are in general or that Justin Fields is, that Tank Dell has a higher points total projected than DJ Moore. If DJ Moore was in that offense in Houston right now, he would be like a top 15 receiver, I feel like. And I don't think that's like a stretch, really. He's projected for lower than Tank Dell right now. And no one really, most people didn't know who Tank Dell was outside of the American Athletic Conference and like Houston fans last year. So that's just nuts to me.
I didn't know about him until like 2 weeks ago. So that's saying something. DJ Moore's a Maryland guy too. Like, I just want to see him utilized more. But so what was your take on that? Sorry.
I think it's going to be, I feel like over, kind of similar idea to Matt, just like, I don't know, this seems like the type of game Chicago's going to, it's like we did well against the Eagles. This feels like a Justin Fields bounce back, like he's going to have a performance where it's like, oh, is he really, can he be the QB? Like I feel like he's due like a flashy game. I think DJ Moore is someone who would be one of the main beneficiaries of that. So I'll go with the over on DJ Moore, but it's kind of similar to Najee. That offense is just garbage, so there's no real trust to have there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Anthony. I'm more confident in the over for DJ Moore than Najee Harris, but I think I can see 8.5 just like isn't that much, and like DJ Moore, like as little as he's been valued, he still is getting some production. So I'm gonna go the over.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to. I'm not really gonna add anything to what you guys said. I was gonna take the over too. He's been getting more and more involved. The Commanders. I mean, while we have a decent secondary, our defense is just not that good. in general. I don't think. I think they'll get some points once we go up early. So I'm taking that over.
And then the final one, the guy who you disrespected Tank Dell earlier. You said you didn't know who he was 2 weeks ago, but
maybe
he's here.
3.
9.7 points projected against Atlanta. I feel like it's he had an absolute dud. So he had his breakout game 2 weeks ago. He got 2 touchdowns, I think, 1 or 2 touchdowns, like dropped
30 points, something like that.
Yeah, it was like had a great fantasy performance. Last week though, I think he only got 1 catch on like single digit targets though, like only 3 targets. So
he had a run too, but still like 2 points.
But yeah, see the usage there though and the points was a really big swing. But I'm gonna go with the over here just because I think that I feel like Houston's gonna kind of be a hot hand offense. Like I think Nico Collins' performance last week kind of indicates that as well. I think it's gonna be different guys every week. I think CJ Stroud's performances are consistent. I mean, back-to-back 300-yard games. So they're getting, people are getting touches in that offense. The ball's getting spread out through the air. I think Nico Collins, I think stuff is going to start to kind of return to the middle a bit more. I think Nico Collins is the number 1 receiver there, but I can see Tank Dell just off of volume this week being able to hit over 9.7 for PPR, half PPR.
I am going to go with the under just because he said the over.
That's a good enough of a reason. That's fine.
I got a real reason, and I actually am going to take the under. I mean, 9.7 seems high. Like this Houston offense has looked good, but Atlanta's defense, I think they just got kind of stunned by Jacksonville last week. I think they're better than they looked last week. I think they'll kind of bounce back and at least kind of slow down the Houston offense that's kind of overperformed, in my opinion, the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to take the under.
All right. We'll be back next week to talk about the over and unders, and I guess that's it. So thank you for being on, Matt. Thank you for facing the music.
Yeah.
We talked trash on you. You faced it. You won. You won in the face of adversity, and you came back. So we got to respect.
I'm staying strong, and when the tables turn, you'll be hearing from me. So, with that said, Matt Cohen auto drafted. Yusuke is a fake Eagles fan, and Adwin is Adwin. He's never legit. He's never a threat. So, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Fair enough. Yeah, thanks for being on. We appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll talk to you soon.
See y'all next week.
All right. See ya.